Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday night. Raw just went off the air, and you are tuning out Modern Family right now, and you are listening to us because this is the Raw Wrap Up Show. I am not Mike Sorg. I'm not sure if you've picked up on that. I know you're used to seeing his lovely visage, but it's me, Mad Mike, and I am joined by the lovely voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling. We'll get to that later. Eamon to please. Eamon, how are you tonight besides the obvious?
To sum it up, it'd probably be angry, but not for the reasons you may think. But no, I'm ready to talk about Raw, I guess. Because, oh boy. Yeah.
Okay, before we get to the reason Eamon is angry, Eamon, what stood out to you on this Raw?
There was some good wrestling on Raw tonight. I think some of the standouts would definitely be the John Cena Open Challenge with Neville.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I think it rivaled, I should say, Zayn's match last week. And I think if they do it right, they have a good story going of the fact that Neville pretty much almost beat Cena.
Thankfully, it looked like no one died, so that's good.
That's nice. Yeah. But no, if they use that and they take it places, that could be really good. I also really enjoyed Cesaro Big E. Thought that was a really great match as well. There was some good stuff around the show. It was another kind of hit and miss Raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the two matches that you said. I know I'm probably the only person that's excited for this, at least based on the Hangout. I'm the only person excited. I love that we're getting Macho Mandow and Axelmania. I love that. I think that is tremendous because it makes me think that they still want to do things with Damien Sandow.
Yeah, I agree. I think the whole him doing Macho Man though is a complete regression of what his promo a couple weeks ago set out to do, which was say, I don't need any of this. I can be my own person. I don't have to live in anyone else's shadow, and he's living in someone else's shadow again. I mean, I probably wouldn't have gotten over as well, but I would have preferred when they did the first meeting with Axel, him basically convincing Axel eventually that you don't need this Hulkamania ripoff thing, you know. But hey, you know, it's fine.
I mean, I think it's going to be fun. It'll be a nice thing. Hopefully they call themselves like the Nega Powers or something like that. And
I hope they win a match at one point in time by Damien Sandow, or did I say Sandow, doing the elbow drop on Curtis Axel and restarting his heart. Because that happened once. But no, I think I think it'll be good in the long run. Gives the Ascension something, I guess.
That's true. So Cain was again a focus tonight, and Triple H came back and basically said that if Seth Rollins doesn't walk out with the belt, then Cain might not be useful to the Authority anymore.
Right.
I mean, does this sound like a lock for Rollins to win then, or
not necessarily? I do think it's a lock for Rollins to win for many other reasons, but I think that it provides an interesting plot point. I would have loved for them to do this plot point like a couple weeks before, because it would have allowed Cain to sort of, you know, realize that he has to work with Seth Rollins. It would have developed that whole thing a bit more, I guess. But, you know, hey, what can you do? I'm just very worried about Payback because, in my opinion, Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton in a cage has potential to be really good. And then the match happens, and it was full of a lot of chicanery and a lot of focus was put on Cain. And not to his fault, but it just, I think, ruined what could have been just a good match between Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. I'm worried that's going to do the same thing for the Fatal 4-Way. And I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you on that. But, hey, you know what? At least we get all three members of the Shield in one match.
We do. I'm excited. Hopefully Ambrose gets a good showing in that match. I don't think he will be winning, but hopefully he does get a good showing.
All right, now the sad news from Raw.
Yes.
Oh, Daniel Bryan. Here we are again. Like, is he just going to have a different color flannel shirt for when he's dropping different championships?
It's literally so unfortunate. It's so hard because this is literally. I said it before the announcement was even made. Like this is literally like a repeat of what we had last year when he dropped the WWE title and said that he may, there's a chance he could never wrestle again. And we basically got the same thing, and that is not a sign that things may get better for Daniel Bryan. Here's hoping that if this is the last time we've gotten to see of him, that he'll recuperate and or just not have to deal with horrible, serious injuries anymore. I do think it is unfortunate that if this is the end of Daniel Bryan, he didn't really get a big final run. It almost makes me wish he did kind of retire last time, because at least he went out as WWE champion and kind of had that, there was a finale, like he never lost the belts,
like he got the send off.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, he was hoping for the best, but it does not sound great right about now.
Yeah, I kind of got a sinking feeling when they announced that we were going to have Sheamus versus Ziggler and Barrett versus Neville. That I'm like, oh, wait, Bryan's coming back, but they've already booked any of the guys he might have gone up against.
That's true, yeah.
So Bryan relinquished the Intercontinental title, which dovetails, I guess, nicely into the other thing they announced. Eamon, I'm just going to let you go for a little bit on this. WWE announced...
Yeah, they announced that, hey, guys, we don't give you enough pay-per-views. Let's make it 13 instead of 12 and add one more pay-per-view in the month of May. Also, it's the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Also, it's in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I'm currently at right now. Also, it's May 31st, which is the same day as Inspire Pro Wrestling's In Their Blood 2, which will be in Austin, Texas that day. So, hey, Vince, I know you're watching. I know you're clearly watching. You clearly pay attention. Thanks, buddy. You're awesome. In all honesty, we did get a lot of tweets saying that they were going to the Inspire Pro Wrestling show instead, which is nice. Yeah, this is very weird to me. Like going past my hatred for this announcement, the pay-per-view is like 20 days from now, so less than 3 weeks, which will be less than 2 weeks after Payback. What are they gonna do? Like, it seems so haphazard and just like, we're just putting the thing out there. Also, it's the Elimination Chamber. Like, if your gimmick matches couldn't be oversaturated enough, like, we don't even, we're just gonna announce it 3 weeks before the thing out. It's really frustrating. But yeah, I don't know what they do. I get the whole point is like, hey, build, network subscribers or whatever. I don't know. I think making not just gimmick content, like gimmick shows like an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but just giving them stuff that's important that they want to see, like just big feud things or stuff like that they have to watch the network for. Would be better, I think.
They did mention that this is going to be network exclusive pay-per-view.
Yeah,
which is the first time they've done that.
This won't be on any pay-per-view providers or anything like that. So,
do you think it's going to be a full 3-hour show?
I'm not. I'd have to look and invest in it because actually, right before they made the announcement, they were airing the commercials for the WWE Live Event that was going to be happening in Corpus Christi on May 31st. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know. I think that it has a potential to be. My thing is, what matches do you put in to fill those 3 hours? I think it would make more sense to make it a 2-hour show.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-hour special like the King of the Ring was.
It very much could be.
Because like you can have an Elimination Chamber for the vacant IC title.
Intercontinental title.
Yeah, and then have like like another random match like before the Chamber. Like you could have New Day versus Biggie versus Cesaro and Kid again.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Like I said, I don't really know. And keep in mind, the King of the Ring thing was filmed after or after, right before they filmed SmackDown for that week.
Yeah, it was filmed when they usually film main event. So
right. So now that this is on a Sunday and it's just a live event, I think there was a chance it could be 3 hours. Like I said, I just feel like if they're gonna do this, it needs to be something special and not just, hey, we have a gimmick. Let's use that gimmick. You know, it's frustrating on many levels. Let's just say that. Yeah. It's frustrating on many levels.
And I'm sure we'll get into this more tomorrow night on the Mayhem show proper, because if this is a successful model, this could eliminate WWE being on pay-per-view altogether.
That's true. I really do not hope that they add more like pay-per-view events, because we talk about oversaturation a lot. Among the amount of just television shows that they have right now to write, now they also got to write an extra couple pay-per-views. Like, that's kind of frustrating. I would not be happy if I was a writer in WWE right about now. But hey,
could you imagine if like around the middle of October they say, hey, guess what? Network exclusive War Games.
Yeah.
I could totally see it. The Authority versus the Anti-Authority, or John Cena versus NXT. You know, I can see something like
all
that.
At once.
Oh,
that'd be perfect. That'd be really special. But no, and that just also, I mean, combine that with the takeover specials that they're doing, like
because there's a takeover special on the 20th, right?
Yeah, and there's rumored to be more. Like, usually they have about 4. They had like 4 in the last year. There's rumored to be much more coming. So there's going to be a lot of content. I'll say that much. But yeah.
All right. Well, as we get ready to wrap this up here, was there anything else that really stuck out for you on Raw?
That's a good question. There was some cool, like, small stuff. Primetime Players got some time, which was cool. You know, there's a lot of people on the show, and I think hopefully they find spots for them and stuff like that. Great to see the Wyatt family kind of getting back together.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, Harper and Rowan.
Eric Rowan, literally, like that little match he had with Fandango, like, he looked so much fresher and he had such an intensity to him. Like, it's weird how you know, such a derailment like can just halt everything. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of intensity. There was a lot of intensity tonight between like Rowan, Kane's match with Roman Reigns, and even Tamina. Tamina showed a lot of fire out there for her first match back, where she just basically kicked Brie Bella's head off, which was fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't use the splash. I'm okay with that. If she just does like a Samoan super kick.
Would be the head. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, where can the people on the internet find you, Eamon?
They can find me on twitter.com/Eamon2please. The 2 is the number 2. Eamon2please on Twitter. You can also follow Inspire Pro Wrestling at Inspire Pro Res, and get more updates about another show on May 31st that you may want to check out that has people like Ricochet and Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae, whatever. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, and you can find me at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machines, and we will both be on the Sorgatron Cavalcade of shows tomorrow night, starting around 6. I'm going to be talking about movies with my buddies Malengo, Sorg, and Ashley on the Rambling Movie Minute. Then you got Awesome Cast at 7 p.m. roughly, where Sorgatron and his merry band of men and women talk tech. Then you have Boss Battle, brought to you by the lovely people at Insert Coin to begin. And then you have the Wrestling Mayhem Show proper, where we will talk about all things, perhaps even a little TNA, because they did something pretty horrible this week. And then Eamon rounds us off with a nice little dessert, a nice little soussant of indie wrestling, as Eamon and Sorg host the Indie Mayhem Show. And Eamon, do you know who the guest is tomorrow yet?
guest for this week will be a Pittsburgh wrestler by the name of Darren De Niro, and you can find out more about him on this week's Indie Mayhem show.
Excellent. And rumor has it there might be a Bobby F. J. Town in the Indie Mayhem show.
There is a rumor, just a little rumor that's floating around. That Bobbert may be on, but yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for us this week on the Raw Wrap Up. So yeah, we will see you next week. Eamon, hit the button.